All right. Oh, I can control this. Okay. So, was it a blast again? Was it? Come on. Did you enjoy it? All right. Thank you. All right. So, I'd like to thank our sponsors. HA Proxy was a platinum sponsor. Thanks. First time sponsor, platinum. The veteran sponsors, Cumulus. Thank you, Cumulus. Moja Tattoo. Should I just ask for a cheer every time I mention a name? Cloudflare, new sponsor. Zevinet has always been there for us. Samsung, new sponsor. Secunet. Avi Networks, new sponsor. Barefoot Networks, new sponsor. They left. Verizon has always been there for us. Our organizational team, Steve Jaworski. Come on. Christy. Alexander. And speaking in third person, Jamal. Our event coordination, Ambedia. If you're in town here, fantastic event company. Our audiovisual guys, SBI. Kim Jeffries, these are people who work behind the scenes. This is really hard to do, right? So there's always somebody spending their time unpaid. Kim Jeffries, Alexander Ehring. Where is he? There he is, that guy there. The conference mascot was designed by Leila Chaya. The title by Christy. The T-shirt, Leila and Christy. The skyline you see in the website was from Vector Stock. It's free license. Rupa Prabhu, can you stand up? Our chair, I'm just going to embarrass her. Excellent technical work. Somini, oh, she left, okay. Willie, remote, Hajime right there. Eric, thank you, Eric. Alex, Neil. The other guys were not here. The two Jiris, Yuri Perko and Yuri Bank. Thanks. Our shepherd, where's Tom? Tom, you want to speak about our process? 5 minutes, maybe? Did he leave? Yeah, okay. About our new submission process.
Okay, so if this is like the band introducing the band members and they go through all of them, the leader never gets to introduce himself or compliment himself, so let me do that. Thank you, Jamal. So this, if it wasn't for him, well, there'd probably be no conference. So this is his baby. Great job. I think this is a spectacular success. So thank you very much. So I was supposed to give a little update on the. So the submission, we kind of instituted a little bit of different process this time. We went more with a double-blind review, kind of like SIGCOMM, but not quite as strenuous. So all submissions come in to a single point, which we call a submission shepherd. They see everything, and then the shepherd anonymizes the submission, sends it to first sends it to the full committee, and we do a check to see if there's a conflict of interest, basically. So a conflict of interest check. So, oh, I work for that company of that person, and things like that. So we did get quite a few of those. So that, the committee was very honest and upfront about that, and there's no issue with recusing yourself. So we did promote that. So the second phase is once we have gone through that process, then we select a panel of the committee members. So I think we had eight or nine of them. So it was about 5 members per panel. selected quasi-pseudo randomly. So even though we do have some expertise amongst the committee in certain areas, we didn't worry too much about that because my feeling is that getting good content that is general enough for everybody, we need good people with good backgrounds. So I think that worked out pretty well. We were getting quite a response. So the committee does a discussion phase amongst this. And again, this is all anonymized. So it's a small community, obviously. There's probably some possible deducing who's doing what. But for the most part, watching the communications and discussions, it's all very objective. And for the most part, it was looking at this, looking at the proposal. Occasionally, we need more information, so we had this thing called shepherd requests. So we would actually go back to the submitter, ask for more questions, get some more feedback. Committee would discuss that, and then at the end we would have a little write-up. Usually, this is good presentation. Please focus on this, or sometimes it's just good presentation. Sometimes it was, please rewrite the abstract. So it was generally constructive feedback, and I think that's important to always give that feedback. One thing I learned from SIGCOM, always give the feedback for future reference, if nothing else. So once that happens, then kind of went into, right now we're using a spreadsheet. I think we're going to automate some of these tools. Went into a spreadsheet, and then it was acknowledged, and we send out the email. And then Jamal kind of took over with the scheduling side of things, so we would schedule it. So I'm hoping it wasn't too much effort on the committee. I think we really wanted the committee to just focus on the technical merits of the proposal. And I would point out that the committee really is kind of unbiased, and we try to get objectivity. So you notice there are like no members here that are officially associated with NetDev Society, which is kind of the legal entity that runs this. So Jamal's CEO, I'm on the board, Pablo's on the board. So we kind of try to have a separation there and really want the program committee to mostly be an independent voice. And the chair also has a little bit more responsibility trying to set the tone of the conference. And in this tone, I mean, there were some obvious themes that you could probably deduce them, and I think that's going to happen every conference. We're going to have hot spots. BPF is super hot, and now we're seeing some of the P4 and BBR, TCP congestion for mobile. They start to come up. So you see these trends in the industry, and they're going to appear here. So it's good to have that sort of ebb and flow. Any questions on that?
There's a feedback session at the end, but feel free to just go to the mic, and we'd like to improve things. So get to the mic and say whether the technical process of selection, please.
Thank you for organizing, and thank you for doing everything. This was fantastic. Just one very tiny bit of feedback. Please let's not do open office templates again.
Yeah.
For the paper, that was more time I spent that I can't get back. I'm sorry, OpenOffice is great. I've used it in the past, but it was just a massive pain to use that. But that's my only tiny bit of feedback. Everything else was wonderful.
No, we got some feedback on the LaTeX. The MIT guys are still here, right? There was some feedback. Maybe we could use the ACM. Is it the ACM or? Yeah, you're not the only one who suffered through it. I think I suffered through it as well, but it was the best we had at that time. And
yeah, so both ACM and Unix have published LaTeX templates. This is what CCOM and NSTI use. So that's what we ended up using for what we submitted.
So is it free that we can use it? Is it a public license?
Yeah, they're open source.
So we can use the ACM, the CCOM LaTeX template. The pain, of course, is if I'm just doing a two-page. So I'm doing a CCOM paper. It makes a lot of sense because I want to pull in a lot of stuff. If I'm doing a two-pager, it's a lot of overhead for doing just one small thing. Personally, I have no idea why any of these people are still doing two-column. It's not like anybody's printing this stuff anyways. So I really think that we should basically move away from two column and move away from these templates.
There are other templates too. So NIPS uses a single column, like the NIPS conference. They use a single column format later and that's
for LaTeX. However, if you don't want to undergo if you're not a grad student and you're not always using LaTeX, it's something of a pain to set it up just for a 2-pager.
Sure.
That's my bit of feedback. I don't have a concrete solution here, but yes.
Google Doc is okay? Google is not that evil, is it?
Google could be terribly evil. Their products are good, though.
Okay. So yeah, there's some people, I know people who are very good at LaTeX. I'm looking at one right there, but
no, I can.
That guy there, but what if you don't want to use LaTeX?
So I'm very comfortable with LaTeX. It's just that I don't have a setup when I'm going to do this, because it's been a while since I've done it, and I have to go set up everything for a 2-pager. Whereas if I was to do a Google Doc, it's a common way for me to collaborate, and I find that to be convenient. So if there is no specific template requirement, it's a lot easier for me to simply do this with Google Docs.
Okay.
That would be fine with me as well. And
okay, so what do other people think? Google Doc as an alternative to LaTeX? No? Google Doc. What other options other than Google Doc? Because Word for Windows was Word. I don't know what they call it anymore.
Jamal, I think
as
long as PDF is actually submitted, I mean, if you can actually provide the template for Google Doc as well, I mean, it should work, right?
I mean, if you specify just like a general template, and then everybody else can do their own tool, but it has the same look and feel, I think everybody would be happy, right? It is not like we are printing.
We want consistency. That's the most important part, right? So we want all the docs.
No, I understand. So you can provide guidelines about, like how you want things to look like, and then everybody can use the tool, because we are not printing, the whole proceedings. For people who are going to be comparing paper with paper, so.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I'll just add. All I wanted to actually say, and I should have distilled this, if we can move away from 2-column, I don't care what we use. 2-column was a massive pain for me. So.
Okay. So, all right.
I mean, I'm not sure if that's the best use of our time for this discussion, but like all the conferences have actually templates in LaTeX and in Word, which look the same at the end, right?
It's a Linux conference, so I know there's some secret Windows users here, but I haven't used Windows in 20 years, probably. Anything other than Linux in 20 years, maybe. Okay, so, all right. Sorry, go ahead.
So I actually have a bit of feedback about the submissions process. It would be nice to use something like hot crap instead of emails, because I know for our paper we had problems with sending to the wrong email address.
Alexander is working on something like that. He will be after this conference. Yes, Alexander? You're looking at, I can see from this. Now I know what David Ahan was talking about. It's like got the lights on front.
Yeah, like crazy lights.
Right. The lights, any of the speakers don't like these lights?
Yes.
Okay, can we leave without the lights, or you need the lights, the audiovisual guys?
If you want black screens, we can take out the lights.
Okay, so yeah, we're working on something, I should say. Right, it'll be a lot more automated for the next version. Okay, anything else, Tom?
Little more cookies next time.
You just want your cookies, Jay, don't you?
You take general feedback?
It will come up after.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks. All right, gonna move on. So the NetDev Society, Tom gave me too much credit. Without these other guys, this would have been impossible. Okay, it was a tough process this time. So thanks, Tom. Thank you, Pablo. And to our speakers, excellent talks. I think everybody, it's very difficult to have 2 tracks in this conference. It's never, I want to attend all the talks. I think I missed half a talk somewhere, but yeah, we have a variety of people, low level, TCP level, XDP, BPF. Sometimes there's no intersection, but I enjoy all of them. So we'd like to maintain the single track, and the papers, please complete those and submit them. It becomes a historic record for you as well that you worked on that topic. Our attendees, so yeah, we're hovering around the 160, just like before, 21 countries. Now, we don't ask people to register which countries they came from. So we guess from their addresses sometimes, and people, I've seen somebody who entered a country, I think, what do they say? Quebec, or going, no. So we'll probably add a column which says country, right, as opposed to the address. So we have 21 countries from 21 countries, 160 people. We have about 30% local representation, people from Montreal and the neighborhood. And for the first time, we're experimenting with remote participants. You saw a presentation this morning from Tshirt Dave. I'm not sure where he is, but it doesn't matter. And you saw Eric contributing to the meeting. He's the TCP maintainer. Thanks to Cumulus, who in a very short notice was able to set us up with that. I'm sorry, not all Google products are very good. We didn't want to use Hangout. And Zippo's here. For the first time, we had a dog that had a badge in the conference. I don't know if you saw him, but he was watching closely. He only barks if he likes what you say. All right. And Tshirt is, I mean, it's not complete without this, right? However, this was what it was in 2. Look, when I play this real fast, you'll see the blue shrinking and, yeah, oops. Huh? It's about it's about the same. Oh, I was just showing that you guys are on diet. Huh? Oh, dang. Okay, I was excited when I saw it. All right, that's it. You spoiled it. Okay, so feedback. Now it's general feedback. I got one feedback by somebody who left that said it was meaningless to just have a nickname like A with a ring on the top, or a clever name like that, or ScanF. Those 2 names were mentioned to me. So they said that they'd rather have, for the newbies, you have a full name so they know who you are, right? That was one feedback I got. Definitely the papers was another, but now we can open the mics to have general feedback.
Question?
Yeah.
Jamal?
Yeah.
Maybe I didn't get to the last couple of NetDevs. I was just curious. You used to be doing 2 per year, and then I remember in January trying to figure out where NetDev was going to be in March, and
right,
I was like, "What's going on? What's going on?" And then you told me,
right,
and that was cool. But is it going to be 1 per year now? Do you think?
So
and do you know where the next one will be, et cetera?
Well, the next one is kind of a secret right now, but yes, it's about. We'll do it every 8 months. Right, because every 6 months was too much for some people because they attend other conferences, other interesting conferences. But so 8 months seems to be a bit reasonable. I should say that we intentionally co-located with the ITF. We've got a cross-section of people from the ITF. Somebody was complaining that they had to go to the ITF. They're exhausted by the time they go to our conference. So we adjusted it based on their feedback. So it's before the ITF, and we hope to do the same. The next one, you may guess where the next ITF is. Then, yeah, okay. So.
Yeah, thanks for co-locating. Thanks for hearing my complaints. No, like it would be great if you can put the slides online as well, because sometimes it really helps to look through the slides during the presentation.
That's true. We went from in last 3 months there was no the conference went from 0 to completion in 3 months. From papers being accepted about a month before the conference. So we'll put, by next week, we hope to have everything online.
And now the more complicated request, if you could get the agenda online a little bit earlier, That would also be helpful.
So we have 8 months. So one of the things that we'll have to discuss, and maybe we'll announce the call for papers much sooner, and we will probably close it without accepting any papers. It's an ongoing process of discussion right now. We may close it before, not a month before, because you can't announce a schedule if you haven't issued all the acceptances. But that's good feedback. You think that people plan their trips 3 months ahead of time? I always thought 2 weeks was enough. No? 6 weeks. Okay.
Just on that point,
Yeah.
If you're traveling internationally and if you need a visa to travel, then yes, 3 months is about right.
Okay.
Something that we discussed, offline feedback when we submit the papers and the ideas, automatic feedback that we send it to the right address and everything.
Yeah.
That would be helpful.
That's the stuff that Alexander is going to be working on. It was too short. We didn't want to disrupt anything in case there was a bug, then things stop working. But he's going to work on stuff like that. Okay, any other comments? Okay, so netdev-next. Okay. Yep.
I really enjoyed the academia contributing to Linux kernel. I hope that thing continues. I mean, I know the negative feedback, but the positive part is like, I've seen this first time. So I hope you guys continue that.
I really enjoyed it as well. I mean, as long as it's related to Linux, right? Don't just put the calculus there and then you have to have an implementation, then it's acceptable, right? And we encourage, I liked all the talks that came out of academia this time. My personal bias, I liked the MIT talk a lot. Okay, so netdev next, I guess some of the ITF people will probably have figured that out. In 8 months, there's going to be an ITF somewhere. It's going to be in Europe, and the location is Prague. Praha, or how do you say it? Is it Prague or Praha? Yeah. All right, both are correct in other words, right? Okay, well, that's it. Thank you.